Hey, what's up, YouTube family? This your man Pristine back with another video. Welcome to the unboxing of the brand new LG G7 ThinQ. Let's dive right in. So, first off, you can get this phone at three major carriers for the precious price of $750 at T-Mobile and Verizon, and I believe it's $850 at Sprint. Now, why the price hike at Sprint? I have not a clue. AT&T opted not to sell this device because there's another exclusive LG device that they're going to be selling, which is the LG V35, which is basically an upgraded version of the V30, and it's got all the 2018 specs, the Snapdragon 845 processor, 4 to 6 gigs of RAM, I believe, amongst all the other things that you can expect from a flagship in 2018. Excuse me, which I find very interesting, and that's actually due to be out exclusively at your local AT&T stores any day now. So if that's something that you're interested in, then you can go ahead and look into that. Definitely, that may be an option for those of you that are not feeling the notch design, because the LG G7 ThinQ here definitely does have a notch. And I believe that phone is also being referred to as ThinQ on the end. So at your local AT&T store, it's going to be the LG V35 ThinQ. All right. Now, like I said, I got this for $750, and I know that that's the price for Verizon and T-Mobile. Now, this is the Verizon variant. Reason being why I chose to go with the Verizon variant is because, as of course, when new phones come out, there's always deals going on, and you can get this phone right now for $100 off if you ordered on Verizon's website. And which is what I did. And so it's not one of those things where if you want to go pay full retail price, they don't just give you $100 off. You have to lease the phone or put it on the payment plan. And then what happens is, the $100 gets credited over a course of 24 months. And so when you're done paying for the phone, then you're only paying $650 rather than $750. All right. T-Mobile, they've got a BOGO, which is buy one, get one. And so if that's something that you want to do, then you can, go ahead and take advantage of that. I believe Sprint is also offering a buy one, get one. But again, be sure to read the fine print and do your homework, because a lot of times those buy one, get one, you have to start an additional line for the free phone, which is also where they're getting money. And people think that people are stupid. Haven't you guys noticed that it's always over a 24-month time span, which is 2 years? Now, typically before we had no contracts, there were always these 2-year contracts. And so they're just wording it differently, you know what I mean? But notice how every time you put a phone on a payment plan, the only option that you're given is 24 months, which is 2 years. And so you guys be mindful of that, man. Don't get trapped into these little games that these carriers try to play. I believe Unlock, this phone, is being sold for $799. I could be wrong. Yeah, I could be wrong. So check on that. Do your homework on that. All right. Now, let's get into the specs. So first off, we've got a 6.1 inch 1440 by 3120 pixel IPS LCD, not AMOLED, LCD display. All right. We have a pixel density of 563 ppi. We've got a screen to body ratio of 82.97%. We've got a new brightness feature where this phone gets up to 1000 nits, and so you're definitely not going to have any problems viewing this phone from any angle. Doesn't matter if it's off of its axis or whatnot. And I know that a lot of people have complained on previous LG models about the screen being too dim and how it didn't get as bright as a lot of the competitors. Well, LG was like, well, let's kick it in overdrive. They want a bright screen. Let's damn near blind them because 1000 nits is hella bright. Hella bright. I think that's definitely the brightest LG screen that they've built, and it's probably the brightest screen on planet Earth on a smartphone at the moment. So definitely got that. This phone is glass on the front and back, Corning Gorilla Glass 5 with a piece of aluminum or metal sandwiched in between the glass on the front and back. Now we have a Snapdragon 845 processor, 4 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs of onboard storage that can be expanded up to 2000 gigabytes, so LG is claiming. We have an Adreno 630 GPU, and we're also running Android Oreo 8.1. fresh out of the box. Now moving along to the cameras, we've got a dual camera system on the rear. We've got a 16 megapixel primary camera with an f1.6 aperture, and then the secondary camera is also a 16 megapixel wide angle lens with an aperture of f1.9. And I noticed that the wide angle has been decreased from 120 degrees to 107 degrees. Now, I must say, if you guys want the wide angle feature, then LG is definitely the way to go, because although there are other phones out there that have the option, it's never quite like the LG experience. And so it's like once you experience the wide angle feature on an LG device, which is to me the top dog with that particular feature, it's kind of hard to settle for anything less than that. So I mean, if you really want good quality wide angle shots and also the ability to be able to change between the wide angle lens and the primary lens on the fly while you're recording, then LG is just the way to go. All right, it's just the way to go. That's just what it is. All right, now the front facing camera, we have an 8 megapixel selfie camera, which is an upgrade from the 5 megapixel that we saw on the LG V30 and the LG G6. Now, the front facing 5 megapixel selfie cam on the LG V30 was improved. It was improved, but at times it still was a little suspect. The 5 megapixel camera on the LG G6 was completely suspect. It was very suspect. And I just thought that that camera could have been a lot better. This phone that I'm recording with right now, the Xiaomi Redmi 5 Plus, a lot of the thumbnails that you guys see from my videos are all shot with that front facing camera, and that is a 5 megapixel shooter. All right, so to me, there's no excuse as to why LG couldn't make the 5 megapixel shooter a little better than what it was, but hey, it is what it is. But now we've been upgraded to an 8 megapixel shooter that also has the wide angle functionality, and I hope that that definitely pays dividends to the camera quality that we get from the front facing camera. Now, some other notable features that this phone has within the camera: we've got an LED flash, optical image stabilization, electronic image stabilization, autofocus, laser phase detection, and EMOS image sensor. I'm not quite sure what that is, but I'll definitely look that up and have more information for that about that in the full pristine review. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Now, the battery, we've got a 3,000 non-removable milliamp hour battery. I know some of you may be scratching your head, like, why did they go with 3,000? But don't be so quick to judge and just automatically assume that this is going to have horrible battery life just because the battery isn't as big as it is in other mid-range or other flagship devices. Again, the Snapdragon 845 processor is optimized well to give us better battery life, better battery endurance. And you've also got, like 3 or 4 different options to optimize your battery under the battery settings on the device if you want to get some extra juice. But again, what I tell people, one of the quickest ways to optimize your battery is, man, just turn off a lot of the things that you're not using. If you're not using Bluetooth, turn it off. If you're not using GPS, turn it off. If you're not using Wi-Fi, turn it off. Turn off your auto sync so that you're not constantly getting your emails synced to your phone every 10 seconds every time you get an email from all of your different email accounts, because that type of stuff fries your battery. Now, another reason why I'm confident in the fact that the battery may still be good in spite of the fact that it's got a smaller cell is, look at the iPhone X. The iPhone X has a 2,750 milliamp hour battery. It has the A11 Bionic chip in it, which is optimized very well to give outstanding battery performance. And the battery life on the iPhone X is absolutely amazing. In spite of the fact, if you're a heavy user, you are not going to kill that battery with heavy or mid use, So obviously, I mean, you're going to fry the battery faster depending on usage. But before you kill the battery off completely, I mean, you're still going to be able to get in some significant time. And so I'm hoping that that's the case here on the LG G7, considering that it's got a 3,000 milliamp hour battery. Now, we do have quick charge available, and this phone is also key enabled or Qi enabled. So we have wireless charge capability, and that's the reason why I've got my fast charger right here on the corner here. Just once I crack the phone out of the box, we'll set it on there and confirm that this phone does have wireless charging, which in my opinion is an absolute plus. Some other notable features to discuss with this phone is we've got NFC, Bluetooth 5.0. We do have an IPS68 water, dust, shock, vibration, and temperature resistant. So this phone is very resistant. All right. And the colors that you can get this phone in, you can get it in blue, black, gray, red, or purple pink. Now that purple pink, it's more of it's kind of like a purple magenta color. That color is being sold exclusively at T-Mobile. Why? Because what is T-Mobile's main color? Magenta. And the pink or purple color, whatever you want to refer to it as, looks just like that magenta. So I guess that's more of a pink. And so you can get that version exclusively at T-Mobile. And don't sleep on it. You know, don't sit there, hey, why is Pristine talking about a pink phone? And actually, it looks pretty slick. It looks pretty dope. Now, I mean, not dope enough for me to get it, but it is a pretty slick looking color. So make sure you guys go down to your local T-Mobile stores and get your hands on that and check it out. This is the gray. I just wanted to switch it up a little bit. You know, I know I'm all black, everything, no racist, but typically with my mobile devices, I always like to get the color in black. But there's just, you know, a lot of these phones are coming out in different colors. They just look better with different color options. And so this is the gray version right here. All right. Now, another thing that I wanted to talk about really quickly is I know that a lot of the features in 2018 smartphones, you've got these dual speaker capabilities, whether they're front-facing speakers or there's a speaker in the earpiece along with the bottom firing speaker. Well, in the LG G7 ThinQ here, there's one bottom firing speaker, and there is technology built into the speaker in order for it to be very loud. It's a very loud speaker, but at the same time, if you place this phone on something hollow, like a hollow box or something, and I believe they sell like these little hollow things that you can place the phone on, you will notice that there is a significant difference in sound just by placing this phone on a hollow surface. It's ridiculous. So that's another thing worth mentioning. And so that's it for the price and the specs, man. Let's get this bad boy out of the box. All right, so typical LG setup. They don't really ever do anything special with the box, you know. So typical presentation, you know, you got the box serial number, IEMI information on the side there. You know, hey Google. Again, this is the 64 gig variant. Along the top of the box, you got the LG branding. Left side of the box, nothing. Bottom of the box, Qualcomm, all that information. And then when you flip it around, you've got the package content, specs, and all that kind of thing. All right, so let's go ahead and get this bad boy out the box. All right, now I have all of you. I do this with all my phones, man, with the unboxings. I crack them out of the box, and you guys don't need to see me turn the phone on. I mean, it's an Android device, man. I mean, it's the same with every Android device. You know, you turn it on, you put in your Wi-Fi information, you know, set up the fingerprint. The fingerprint it was blazing fast to set up, you know, set up facial recognition, which this does have, by the way. So I just wanted to hurry up and just kind of expedite the process of this video. And take you straight to the home screen once we kind of go around and take a look at the cosmetics. So yeah, we have a microfiber cleaning cloth that has LG stamped all over it, which is definitely a plus. And here is the device itself. As you can see, we also have always on display, and you just got a quick display of the facial recognition, which it's not one of those things where you have to tap the screen or hit the side button or anything like that. You just simply double tap to sleep, which I love that feature as well. You just simply hold this phone up to your face and it unlocks, and it does it blazing fast as I just displayed. So again, you've got your always on display right there, which also can be customized, so it doesn't necessarily have to look just like this. Okay, but I like the fact that it shows the time, the date, any notifications that I've got pending. You can just take a quick glance at the screen. You can set this to come on and go off at different times of the day when you need it. So like I have mine set for I think 9 p.m. and then from 9 p.m. to 8 a.m. You know, because oftentimes I've got a watch on my wrist, and so 9 p.m. is usually around the time that I take my watch off or whatnot, and so that's when I start looking at my phone for, you know, the time or any other information and stuff like that. So always on display is definitely a welcomed feature. Now, here is our promise, and this is basically just saying that LG is guaranteeing an additional year. You already have a year warranty with this purchase, but this is basically saying that they're throwing in an additional year for free. I mean, so if your device gets damaged of any kind, then you've got another year of a warranty to get a replacement. So that's good to know. But hopefully we all will respect the tech and keep it in screen protectors and cases, and at least protected from, you know, damage from dropping it. You know, sometimes there's software internal issues that need fixing, and so it's good to have that as a reassurance that if something happens to your phone within the 2-year mark of purchasing it, that LG will replace it hassle-free. Now, here is our literature. Okay, SIM tool, product safety and warranty information, LG G7 ThinQ information, or important consumer safety information, Verizon at the bottom. Meet your LG G7 ThinQ. All right, so that's all that is. File that to the side. And here is the wall travel adapter. And here is our USB to Type-C port that plugs into the phone to charge this bad boy up. And we also have quick charge enabled as well. Now, strangely enough, well, I don't want to say strangely, but a lot of flagships do this, and I think it's kind of asinine because you're paying a lot more money for these flagship devices. But it's interesting how a lot of these budget and mid-range phones, they slap cases in the box, hint, like the OnePlus 6 here. You know, that's a pretty nice look, $529.99, or actually $529 even for the OnePlus 6, and you got everything you need. And it also comes with this little soft shell TPU bumper case, and a lot of other phones do that as well. And I can't for the life of me imagine why these phones that cost significantly more than those devices, they don't come with anything. But you know, I always keep my phones in cases, and I usually get all of my cases from Amazon. Why? Because they're way cheaper. You know what I mean? And you can get, you know, the same amount of quality for much cheaper cost. And so here is my Spigen. All right, here is my Spigen clear TPU case for my LG G7. And as you can see, it's the liquid crystal, slim and soft. It's got air cushion technology, which is the shock resistance on the side, so it's going to withstand drops or anything like that. So yeah, I will definitely be sure to drop a link for this case in the description if you want to get this from Amazon. As you can see, you've got the gray color right there, and that's basically what it looks like on the device. I mean, so it's also a slim case. It's not going to provide a bunch of, it's not going to make the phone any more bulkier or anything like that. So yeah, I mean, this is just something to keep your investment protected. It's got all the necessary cutouts and everything that you're going to need. And yeah, I mean, I like Spigen cases. I mean, they make some really good quality cases. I bought this on Amazon for $11.99, and so I will definitely drop a link in the description if you guys are interested in picking up this Spigen case. Now, back to the device itself. Again, as I mentioned, always on display right there. Let's go ahead and, oh, no, it doesn't want to do it. All right, whatever, I'm not going to fight with that. Fingerprint sensor on the back, blazing fast all the time. Now, here is our 19:9 aspect ratio, and the screen on this device is absolutely gorgeous. Again, 6.1 inches corner to corner. Here at the top, where we've got the notch, we've got the earpiece, we've got the sensors, we've got the front-facing camera, all in that little notch right there. And let's see here on my OnePlus 6, if I, well, go to a white screen, there we go. And so I noticed that the notch on the G7 is a little bit wider than the notch on the OnePlus 6. If you guys can see that there. Ah, interesting. All right. So let's put the OnePlus 6 back, and you guys be sure to stay tuned for the camera review and full pristine review coming for the OnePlus 6 here. But yeah, so we do have the notch design, which gives this phone that 19:9 aspect ratio. All right. Beautiful display here. Now, to the right of the device here is the power button, and that's a bit of a change because a lot of times the power button was on the back where the fingerprint sensor was. It was a fingerprint sensor slash a button, but now this is just a sensor by itself. There's no other functionality besides unlocking your device. And so this is now the power button and the sleep button. All right, now at the top of the device, we've got an antenna line, a noise canceling microphone. Now here at the top as well, on the top right, this is the SIM tray, and this is where you can house a nano SIM and an SD card for memory expansion. All right, and then to the right of that, we've got another antenna line. Now, to the left of the device, we've got the volume markers up and down, and then we've got another button right here. This is the Google Assistant button. It's a dedicated button that is specifically for Google Assistant, kind of like what Samsung has with Bixby. And so my understanding thus far is that this button cannot be reprogrammed to do anything else. I believe you can disable it. So I'll talk a little bit more about that in the pristine review. But if you no longer want to get into your phone for whatever reason and go through the steps that it takes to get to your assistant, you can just simply press that button and it'll take you right there. And let's see really quickly when I push the button. And there you go. So I mean, I haven't set the assistant up yet, but let's continue. Access your assistant with voice match. I agree. And so basically what that's doing is just gathering previous data from other devices where I've used my voice, and it just matches it with this phone. Unlock your phone with voice match. Sure. Okay, well, so we'll go back to that. Sure, we'll do that. And you guys see that. I mean, so it's just a button that accesses your Google Assistant. All right. So we'll see, you know, if in future updates, if LG will enable us to reprogram that button to do something else. But for now, launching the Google Assistant is what it is for. All right. Now, moving around to the bottom of the device, we've got the 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, which also houses that that 32-bit quad DAC. And so if you want some serious sound from any headphones, doesn't matter if they're low budget, mid-range, or some of the top best of the best, you're gonna this DAC is gonna maximize the sound quality that the headphones that you have is able to produce. All right, we've got another antenna line here, noise canceling microphone. Here's our Type-C port for charging. Here is that very loud single bottom firing speaker, and to the right of that there's another antenna line. All right, now moving around to the back of the device, you can see got some smudges there. This phone is definitely a fingerprint magnet. We've got the LG branding right there, and then a little bit more in the middle we've got the LG or G7 ThinQ branding. Here's our fingerprint sensor. Here is our vertical dual 16 megapixel camera lens setup next to the dual tone LED flash and a laser autofocus. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, this is the LG of how this phone feels. Even though it's glass, you know, it doesn't feel as slippery as other devices, and so that makes me feel like maybe there's some oleophobic coating going on, which basically helps with fingerprints and smudges, and it also reflects light better. So that's going to help viewing angles in lighter conditions. But again, don't forget you've got that 1000 nits now to kind of help rectify that issue if you're having problems viewing it in sunlight or in well-lit areas or anything like that. But the phone is definitely light. Now, yeah, it's got a little bit of weight to it because, I mean, this is glass and aluminum. But I noticed that it's not as heavy as, say, the OnePlus 6 here, which is also glass and aluminum on the front and back. And you can see here it's a little thinner than the OnePlus 6 as well. The OnePlus 6, it does have, you know, it has a wider feel. And so, but the thing that really helps the OnePlus 6 as far as being able to manage it is how it's curved, you know, around the back leading up to the sides. But the OnePlus 6 is still heavier and it's wider than the G7 ThinQ. And so I can see how one may feel like the G7 ThinQ is much more of a comfortable hold because it's lighter, it's thinner, and it's also rounded around the sides as well. And so it makes managing this device much better as well. I mean, as you can see, I can cuff this thing with one hand and I can get my fingers completely around it and just manage it with no problems, as opposed to the OnePlus 6. I can't do that. I can only, if I were to squeeze this phone and try to touch my fingers, see, I'm having to wedge my hand up because of how wide this phone is. And so if I put the phones side by side here, don't know if you guys can see that right there. You guys can see that, but you see the difference as to how much wider the OnePlus 6 is than the LG. If you guys can see that, let me see if I can move my thumbs out of the way. There we go. Maybe that's a better shot right there. Yeah, the OnePlus 6 is wider, and so for me, I feel like the G7 is more comfortable to hold in the hand. All right, so as I mentioned, we've got Android 8.1 Oreo fresh out of the box. Now, I haven't loaded any of my applications on this as of yet. I just wanted to get to the home screen and show you guys everything that's loaded on the device. And so, as far as the bloatware, I mean, you've got Google Essentials. Like I said, I did get this from Verizon. So, you've got your Verizon suite right there. We got YouTube, Maps, Google, Gmail, voicemail, which is a Verizon app, help, settings, calendar, contacts, gallery, music, clock. We have Yahoo Mail, which I'm going to be getting rid of that. Wish, Yahoo Finance, Yahoo Sports, Yahoo News, and then we got some games, Empire, Yelp, Final Fantasy, Top Buzz, and then you got the Google Lens right there. And so that's what comes preloaded on the device. Now, I'm not sure if you get the unlocked version, if those same apps are going to be preloaded on the device. But I know that this is, Verizon's variant. And so obviously if you get the unlocked version, then a lot of the Verizon apps that they put on here aren't going to be present. So if we hop over into the settings and go down to storage and internal memory, you can see that out of the 64 gigs, 27% has been utilized. And so just with those apps that are pre-installed, it used 17.74 gigabytes, which leaves us with 46.26 gigabytes free. Okay. So, that's a nice chunk out of that 64 gigs. But the good thing is, a lot of these apps that are preloaded on the device, they can be erased, and so that will definitely help free up some of that space if that's what you want. But then again, we also have an SD card slot for memory expansion, and so you do have the ability to expand the memory up to 2,000 gigs. So LG claims. All right. So looking at the settings, typical Android Oreo setting, we've got that consolidated settings list. Notice at the top here of the settings list, LG provides some suggestions. You can go ahead and swipe those things away if you want, just to kind of get that out of there. And we are in tab view, or we were in list view, and I'm a fan of the tab view. So I like this particular aspect. I mean, rather than just scrolling down, having the ability to just hit the category and then all of the options underneath that category is displayed for you. I'm a huge fan of this particular setup, mainly because I like how Oreo consolidates things, but at the same time, it's like it's not all that clear as to where things are. And so sometimes to find certain things, you literally just have to go down the list and just tap on things and just go through everything just to see it. Well, what if you don't have that kind of time? If you want a sound setting or a display setting or a general setting, it's good to just go into the settings and just see the different options there, and you just tap on it, and every setting that's under that particular category is going to be present. And so there's not going to be any confusion as to where something is at that you may be looking for. I'm a huge fan of that, and I've always been a huge fan of that with the LG Skin. That's one of the main aspects why I love the tab view over the list view. Now, a lot of people don't like this view. A lot of people would prefer the list view more, but and that's a matter of preference. And so I think that it's good that LG gives us the choice. But for me, I much have things categorized in this particular order as opposed to just having that list of stuff and you're left having to search for where everything is. And although it may say, like if we go back to the list view, like it's going to say, like say for sound, volume, ringtones, notification, and sound. It says right there, but I've noticed on other devices, that there have, even though it may say certain things, it doesn't list everything that's under that particular option right here, because there may just be too much and they can't fit it all in this little area. So if you're looking for something like that that's not stated there, then how do you know where it's at? Now, if you've got it in the tab view, like I said, network, sound, display in general. You just tap on one of those and you're definitely going to find what it is that you're looking for. So I'm a huge fan of that. Now, damn it, I keep hitting the wrong button. My bad, y'all. All right, so going down to the display. All right, we do have the ability to switch the home screen. We don't have an app drawer enabled right now. It is just like your conventional setup, kind of like an iPhone, where all of your apps are displayed on the screen. And the more apps that you download, then the more screens are created. But you can have a app drawer as well, which if you hit that option, then you now see the button right there. And here's your app drawer. So if you're just into more of that clean look, don't want a bunch of stuff covering up your nice wallpaper that you got there, then you can just go for this view. Now, me personally, I'm a fan of not having an app drawer, and I just like things displayed on different screens to be able to swipe to. Now, I like the fact that you're able to change the transitions. As you can see, I got that carousel effect. I just love how it just looks like the apps are just coming at you out of the screen. I mean, it's a nice 3D little option, or a 3D look to it. And I always change that on all my LG devices. I mean, if you guys look at previous videos that I've done on LG devices, you'll see that's always my transition effect. And there's other ones that you can choose from as well, but I like the fact that LG gives you that customization to do that. All right, now popping back in settings under display, as you can see, there is the always on display. We do have the ability to change the button configuration, which I have done. So fresh out of the box, by default, it is the typical Android setup where you've got back, home, and recents over here, where I flip it. You know what I mean? Just because even though I'm a lefty, I hold my phones with my right hand, and it's just better for me to have my home button and all that right here within thumb's reach in order for me to access. I like the fact that we have screen capture button right there. I mean, so rather than like having to take 3 fingers and swipe down or do some other type of gesture, if there's something that you're looking at, you just simply hit that button right there and there's your screenshot. All right, it's nice and simple. Now, where is the new second screen? Now, the notch up here, that's being referred to by LG as the second screen. And so if you hit custom, then you will see it gets rid of the notch if that's something that you don't want. Now, here's another cool feature that I like that LG implemented that gives us an option. You see how at the top, when you decide to go against having the notch up there, how the corners of the device are rounded. And at the bottom of the device, it's rounded. On other devices that have the notch, that give you this option to get rid of the notch, they don't give you the option to round the corners. So look at how weird this looks, where you've got basically the corners are squared, even though the corners of the actual device itself is rounded. But then on the bottom, it's still rounded. So it doesn't change the rounded corners on the bottom of the screen on the bottom. So it just looks kind of weird because you've got these rounded corners of the screen on the bottom, but not at the top. Well, if you choose not to have the notch up there, LG gives you the option under app corners to make the edges at the top rounded to match the edges on the bottom, so that the phone doesn't have this weird look to it. I mean, probably not something that you're going to notice, you know what I'm saying? But me, I'm very meticulous and I pay close attention to detail. So that's something that I would notice. I would recognize that. And I'd be like, okay, wait a minute. How come the top is squared off, but the bottom is rounded? So I like the fact that LG implemented that on there for us to have as an option. Now, me personally, I'm a fan of the notch. I just like the way that that looks. So that's how I'm going to rock my device. And you are able to change like the colors and stuff of the notch, kind of customize it, to your liking, so that it's a little different from other displays out there that have notches, because that just seems to be the thing right now. I mean, a lot of phones are coming out with the 18:9 aspect ratio or 19:9 aspect ratio, and they also have a notch. So you got that as well. We also have the one-handed view, which you just simply swipe up to the right of the back button. Okay, is it not working? Okay, there we go. So you swipe to the right on the back button, and then swipe to the left to get back to the full aspect ratio. Okay, I think my finger's a little sticky, which is why it wasn't happening. But yeah, you just simply swipe left to get to the one-handed mode, and then swipe right, or I'm sorry, swipe right to get to the one-handed mode, and then swipe left to get back to the full screen. All right, now again, as far as like gestures, double tap to wake or to sleep, double tap to wake, facial recognition right there as you guys just saw, fingerprint sensor, lightning fast, okay, and it's just open just like that. That works 100% of the time. Now let's test the cameras. Okay, so it's here I am, y'all. And shout out to the Xiaomi Redmi 5 Plus. Color reproduction looks great. Okay, nice and fast shutter speed. I'm gonna turn the camera around. Okay, now we're in the wide angle view. Okay, so here's our regular view. Okay, let's go back to wide angle. Okay, you can see how wide that just got, and so it's like now you can see the fast wireless charger there in the shot. You couldn't see that when it was in the regular view. And some of the options that we've got Google Lens, we've got portrait mode, we've got AI cam. And so when you hit AI cam, this is the mode that you put the camera in when you want it to have scene detection. All right, so if you want to get out of that, then you just simply tap on that and it takes you out of that. Now if we go into Google Lens, then it just takes you through the tutorial and everything that Google Lens does. And basically what that is just giving you the ability to point at certain subjects or locations or whatever, and Google Lens will be able to give you information about it. If there's like a pair of shoes that you want or something like that, you just point Google Lens at it and it'll give you all the most accurate, updated information as possible, which is pretty neat. All right, that's pretty cool. All right, that's pretty nice. Okay, and then of course, you know, we have the record option. Now we go to modes. We've got auto, manual. Wait, there's two manuals. Okay, so auto, manual, manual for photos, manual for video. We've got one video, food, slow-mo, panorama, flash, jump out, time lapse, and 360 panorama. Okay, now when we go to the options, we've got super bright camera, HDR, steady recording, live photo, cheese shutter, tag notifications or tag locations, grid, add signature, which I want to do that because it's like a watermark. Oh, actually, no, it's not. That's adding an actual signature. Okay, don't want to do that. And then we've got help under add signature. And then as far as the different modes, we've got full vision. The camera's in 4.3 right now, so if you tap on that, it's going to take you to 18:9 as far as the viewfinder. We're in full HD video right now. I believe this phone has 4K recording. Let's see. Yes, we do have 4K recording. Okay, so we've got full HD and 16:9, full HD and 16:9 at 1080p, and then we've got full HD 18:9. And then UHD 16:9. So yes, we do have 4K recording on this device. I'm just going to keep it where it is at full HD 1080p. And then we've got the timer right there. And so those are the settings with the camera. And we'll just take a look at those shots that were just taken. That's the wide angle shot, which looks really good. It's a little dim because I've got the volume, or I've got the screen brightness down to 35% so that it wouldn't be too bright and obscure the color from the camera. But here is the primary shot, which looks really good. Color reproduction looks true to life, nice and detailed photo. And then here's the selfie that I took, which also looks really good. I mean, so this 8 megapixel sensor looks to be pretty promising. All right, and these are some other shots that I took last night. So there's a wide angle shot of the little Android figure over in the corner, and then there's the close up. So you can see the difference with the wide angle and just how you can get more subjects and just more things overall in the shot by having that wide angle lens ability. So I like that. I like having that option. All right, now wireless charge, just set it down, and there it is. You see it charging right there, ladies and gentlemen. You see the little blue light on right there. So there's your indication that it does charge wirelessly, which is fantastic. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I've got. I hope you enjoyed the unboxing and first initial thoughts and impressions of the LG G7 ThinQ. If you like this video, you already know, smash that thumbs up button. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to Pristine Tech to expose yourself to tons of videos that I've done like this one. And definitely stay tuned because I've got so much more content to come. Make sure you guys hit that notification bell. Shout out to the notification squad out there. Every time I upload a video, you will be one of the first notified and give you the ability to check out the content first. Tell me what you think about it. Shoot me some feedback, questions, or anything that I didn't cover that you want information on. And I'll be sure to, accommodate you guys to the best of my abilities. All right. All right. So you guys already know. I'll catch you guys in the next video. And please stay safe, get spiritually fit because we're definitely living in the last days. If you don't believe me, just take a look around you. All this chaos going around. It's all in Revelations. It's all in Revelations. So a lot of this stuff should not be a surprise. All you got to do is get spiritually fit and keep it pristine in every aspect of your lives. All right? Catch you guys in the next video. Peace.